Yo, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome to DeFi Down Under. Happy Friday in Australia and Thursday in other places. And we're always running a bit ahead of most of the people that watch this. So thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit the likes and subscribes. But yeah, we got Fast Abdul here. He's not on the intro yet. I should get onto that. You've been on a few times now, man.
I have.
So good. Thanks for joining us. And we'll have one or two Aussies jumping on a little bit later as well. So yeah, thanks for coming on here. And we've got another guy on who was, just hit the community pretty hard lately, and we're enjoying some beats from him and all that sort of stuff. So this guy right here, we'll hit this up first.
Hex. Let's go. She told me I did a hex on her. If she don't got hex, then it's next on her. Too many bullies I gotta flex on them. If they wanna see the proof, I got a dex on them. Young HEXican trying to shift the paradigm. I was in the trenches trying to get closer to paradise. Worry about your own bag, I'm fully aware of mine. Certified and verified, I'm yachting on the ocean and my phone is using maritime. No filet mignon, but I stake money. Liquidity provided, I feel like I'm Poseidon. Loudest when you're losing, when you're winning, they be quiet. These are just the thoughts that I be thinking when I'm driving. Dreams of flying private, I've been high vibing. High school parties, why wasn't I invited? Now I got two biddies asking me when I'm arriving. E-Hex, P-Hex, money multiplying. Haters fabricate, but dog, the numbers isn't lying. I must have ate a Mario shroom, I'm feeling giant. Shoulda never gave me no rules, I feel defiant. I feel the word of Richard Hart. It's a lot of fun that I could pick apart. Hex dominating on the weekly chart. Please don't get me started. Hey, that hex so sexy, yeah. We're upward trending, yeah. This pulse is sending,
There we go. So that's our man, and he's live with us now for one of his first streams, I reckon. How you going, Pharaoh? Oh, you're muted, I reckon.
What's going on, everybody?
Yo, man.
Hello. Thank you for
Thanks for joining us. Look at your Christmas hat. You're getting in the vibe, and even the green candles going on in the back.
Hey,
yeah.
Hoping everybody's having a great December so far, and you are what you see. So I got a green candle as my lock screen, and
yeah, no, that's bloody awesome. Yeah. Look, you've jumped into the community and seem to have embraced it, and doing lots of amazing music, around Hex, PulseChain, and all other sorts of stuff as well. There's Bitcoin ones, and I've listened to most of the stuff you've got on Spotify as well. So some really, really cool beats. You got mad bass lines in all your music. I think you focus on making sure there's plenty of good bass in there. But yeah. How did all this start, man? How like the crypto side of it first? How long have you been in crypto for? And when did you find out about Hex and PulseChain?
So I really got into crypto a couple of years ago. I got booked to do some shows at ETH Denver and Bitcoin Miami, along with my close friend and manager who was working with this startup and app called Corner Market, which is basically like a way for local businesses, small businesses to be able to take crypto as payments and do special deals. And it was just got thrust into it. So I had no idea what was going on. And then I think not even when I was like at these conferences and stuff, like I really didn't absorb anything. It was really just like so much action. I was amazed to see how much impact it actually had with people all over the world. Slowly afterwards, I definitely got brought into the Pulse chain, once again by my close friend Denarius Lewis. He was very, very big on it. It took a while for me to understand, and I think one of the craziest experiences I think to note for it was definitely watching the Richard Hart documentary, because it's almost like putting a mirror on like the experience. It's like watching somebody like who like knows what you're thinking and experiencing, and then like they help you to kind of see past that. You see the full vision. So like I think I had that similar experience to a lot of people where like and especially in crypto, like you really do have to have a strong personality. it's very important to have that strong personality, and it's on you to like understand to not feel offended by it, and just understand like you just have to have confidence. You know, positivity and confidence are essential in this game. If you don't have that, like, what do you have? Because we're still like so small in the world. Like, we can't afford to just be, you know, walking around doubting ourselves. So once I understood that, then I would say, you know, about a year ago, I finally like just had enough money to where like I could put away. It wasn't even a crazy amount, but like I called my friend up and just asked him where I should put it. And I got my first cryptos in PulseChain at that point. And I also got some Caspa and
a couple of good picks. Yep.
For me, just like watching it would take, you know, when you get into it, like you want to be the one person that's like, oh, I don't have to experience it like everybody else. It's just going to all be a win for me. I'm going to win from the start, blah, blah. But you really like, you have to get your ass kicked a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And you don't want to. Nobody goes into it like, I think, expecting it. And they you know, but through trial and error and just understanding things, then, you know, I started to dive more into like, I started to understand memes then a little bit more. So I went kind of down from there, started in understanding Bitcoin, then went down to something like Casp and PulseChain. Then I went into memes and I started getting steered wrong and didn't understand it and losing money. And then when I started to understand the ecosystem of PulseChain and the utility behind everything, like for me, it was a no-brainer to just want to support. And so that was crypto. Now, behind the scenes, right, I'm just an artist all the time, and I make music every day of my life. So I'm an artist first and foremost. And I think for me, I just wanted to use that in a genuine way to make records and combine the two. And I didn't do it for a while because it didn't feel authentic. And then it got to a point where I was able to like, I felt like I had a positive response. I felt like there wasn't enough people. There wasn't enough like energy, like what I would just naturally do in my songs or in a rap record and in the crypto space. Like I knew there's a lane for me to be able to talk about these things in a different way that will people can understand.
That's great. Yeah, that's amazing. We can definitely tell that you've been doing music for a long time. You know, making your own music and that sort of stuff, because it doesn't come naturally just to do what you're doing. And we've had a lot of people, or, you know, a few others, you know, come into the community and put out different types of music. Some of them better than others. But yeah, you can tell when someone's, you know, that they've done that first and then joined the community rather than coming in and just trying to put some music together. Hence, like my intro, that was all done with AI because I don't make music. You know, I can play a few instruments and that, but yeah, man, your lyrics and your flow and your rap and that is just so good. You know, I love all types of hip hop, especially Aussie hip hop, which I might, you know, we'll get into the DMs about one day what I like and stuff like that. But yeah, it really hit me when the first song I heard you come out with, and yeah, just, you know, I've been hooked since, and listened to a lot of your songs on Spotify, some which we probably shouldn't play here because of
of course,
some of the language and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's great to have you part of, you know, join in and make a loud noise in the community, and everyone can do it in different ways. So, you know, it took me a long time to get the confidence to go on stream, and I'm still getting used to that and getting comfortable. And, you know, I have my moments where, you know, it doesn't seem to go too well, but yeah, once you're out there and doing it, you know, we've all got our ways that we can make a difference in the community. Fast Abdul, you know, apart from being a comedian, he's building crazy stuff with utility on PulseChain.
My raps, you never talk about my raps.
Exactly, and that's a rap. That's about as far as his raps go, as far as I know, anyway. But he's here for the tech, obviously, as he said in the chat.
You both look awesome. Like I mean, Abdul, you look like you're in a spaceship, man. Like, I don't know, you got the right fit on for it and everything. Like, you definitely look like you should be there. Both of you.
That's cool. He Fast Abdul tends to change costume halfway through the stream, and stuff like that occasionally. So it's yeah, pretty funny.
I could be in a spaceship later. We could work that out. No problem.
Yeah, no, so good. Yeah, what's been happening with you, Fast Abdul? I see you've, I mean, you're streaming more now than ever, but you've been hitting it pretty hard with that. And I saw you on that. What was that? Saint Hex or something? What was his? Wolf. Saint Wolf. That's the one. Yeah. What are some takeaways from that stream? That was a long one. I'm only about an hour into it.
Yeah, it was about 5 hours long. You mean the one where Somi jumped on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy actually, because like I just got invited on there and I was like, okay, I'm busy. I'll come on for a couple minutes. And then like 10 minutes in, like Somi just clicks the link and jumps on the stream, his first ever live stream, which was, got some attention. Like that stream has like 10,000 views or something. And then in the background, I started like sending out the link to like every influencer I could get a hold of. Sorry, I missed you. I forgot the Australian guys would be awake. But I meant to get like a ton of guys on the screen. Like we had Access Alive on there, Crispy Man, Corey Gary, Funding Jim. Like it was like just the whole. You could barely see any sort of background. Like nobody could hold up like a chart. Well, Access tried, but like you had to like people had to like move their heads and stuff so you could see it. And it was a pretty good mega stream. So it was mostly about PDI. That was the main focus. Yeah. So that was what we were talking about that day. But there's other things too,
For sure.
There's some, I wouldn't say alpha, but there was some like positive momentum in that stream where we, you like people tuned in and they heard, reasonable, not financial advice from, people they recognized. So I think it was positive.
Yep. No, beautiful. Yeah, it's definitely got some eyeballs on it, and talking about things that are relevant at the moment. Have we had much development in the PDI side of things? We're still waiting up.
Well, I think PDI is doing. Let's take a look at the chart here. It's still in that 2.5 to 3 cent range.
Yeah.
2.69, 0.2698. So under its high, but not by a lot. I don't really push a narrative that PDI is going to $1. Maybe it could go to $1. A lot of things could go to $1. It sounds like there's some interesting things about that story. My thing is that I'm here for the tech. So what I'm doing with my team and my partner Yellowcake is we're actually building a liquidity fork. So like liquid loans, right? Earn Flex for PDI. We're going to have a PDI-backed stable coin.
Yeah, I love it.
So it may not be $1 right now, and it may never be $1. It's quite possible. Maybe it will, and that'd be great too. But we can make it into $1, and we might be as little as 3 weeks out from that. So I think that'll be interesting.
That's amazing.
Unlike liquid loans, we're not going to raise $55 million.
Yeah.
Like I think we could do it with $55 million, but we'll probably do it with $0 and just provide it to the community and, see what happens. It's an experiment. I'm not telling anybody to participate, but I think it could actually be the next big thing for PDI because you'll have $1 that can be exchanged for $1 and it will provide a support structure, like a place to put because what do you do with your PDI? You wait till $1 and then you sell it. Is that your plan? Right. Because
giving it utility.
Yeah, so it needs support structures on its way to $1 if it is to ever hit $1. And this is going to provide a lot of liquidity. It's going to provide connections to real dollars, like connections to DAI from Ethereum. And if it's in the code that it could be pegged to $1 at some point with enough collateral and all those little details that people mostly don't want to talk about, this might help it get there. Because to go from less than 3 cents to $1, that's a big move. But if you can get up to 79 cents and then you can collateralize it, like the path to $1 might be more clear. So this is a tool, and I think people will use it.
Yeah, beautiful. I think they will too. I'm sure the PDI community, or everyone that's around that, they're part of the PulseChain community, so I don't really want to section them off like that. But I think they'd be very welcoming of that too. And I know you'd be in deep with the people that are pushing hard with it and down with the knowledge. So no, good on you. I think it's great that you're able to, or willing to, adapt and just move with things as they go and just keep building, because you've done a great job so far. I love the two fucks protocol and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think you're doing great. And
there's still developments there too. So we're still working on our bribery project. We're gonna have more news on that next week. So we're gonna have a place where you can sell your votes for bribes. So and that'll be fun. I think people will like on-chain bribes. Should get some attention.
I think it'll be great. It's like OTC, I guess, for votes, isn't it, in a way? Do you think founders and whales are going to be the ones that are looking to hit up the bribes, or what? Who do you see as people really utilizing that from the smaller people that don't have a lot of voting power?
The founders and whales will probably be the ones that put up the bribes, but like it's an open marketplace, so you can put up a much smaller bribe for something where not a lot of people are looking for it, but the ones who are would be happy to take that, because people get to choose where their vote goes. So they'll see a list, it's a menu of bribes, and you might take the top bribe, or you might take a lower one that's voting for a pool that you would have voted for anyway. Yeah.
Yep. Righto. Very good. Pharaoh, you're a bit into the PDI as well, aren't you? I've seen you made a song about that as well, but you seem to be posting a bit about that.
Yeah, that was the first one I got into in the PulseChain ecosystem. So for me, that was I felt like the first one to attack, right? And it was just that specific song was kind of like the catalyst for me, like, because it happened very quickly. Like most of the time I'm doing these records pretty fast. I can write and record pretty fast. I engineer myself. And so for me, it's like seeing the community come together with that song was amazing. I think just sharing my experience for it, I think it's also like the narrative of it is so emotion driving for a lot of people. Yeah. And that's something that you don't see with a lot of crypto. Just as somebody who, like, I'm still newer to this. This is my first cycle, all that. It's like I definitely see like so much of the emotion behind the narrative, which I think is important. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely think it will peg to $1. I've been in it for a minute now, and so what's your position on it?
I'm open to it pegging. I'm open to the hype behind it because it's bringing eyeballs. I haven't been a believer for the whole time, but that also shows, in most cases that'll show you a bag bias as well. What people are holding and that sort of thing. But look, at the end of the day, I think anything that ever a whole community is getting around and making noise about is great, because that's just going to filter out, and other people are going to see it. And we've seen that, people are coming in and bringing in big dollars and just buying PDI, and stuff like that. So a lot of things that also have liquidity tied to it. So if that's going to moon and that's going to go good, and it has already, either the market's moving with it at the moment, or it's helping pull the market up, or, it's all just going to work in unison. So personally, I'm not going to say that I think it's going to peg to $1 and get collateralized. And, a lot of people are saying that the OA is going to do that. I don't have any expectations of the OA doing that, but we'll see.
I think it's a catalyst, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that there's a lot of other things that are tied to the success of PDI. That's one thing that I know about it for sure.
Yeah. No, sure. Definitely. I'm just going to say g'day to the chat quickly. We got Hans in here talking about him doing big ripping farts again. They've got a video game dropping soon. I don't even know if I want to know what the game's going to involve for the fart token. I'm glad we don't have.
What is the airdrop? I don't want the airdrop of a fart token.
Yeah.
Do not take the airdrop.
You don't want airdrop farts. Definitely not. I definitely agree with that. HEXican lost in Asia. Thanks for jumping in and hitting the beers. That's beautiful. You're always jumping in here. So Crypto Magnet. I haven't seen this one in here. LoveOfPharaoh to the moon. Yeah. He must be one of your mates. That's so good.
My guy.
And UFO to the moon. So good. No, it's beautiful. Hi ho Hex. G'day, mate. And KD. And we got the legend of McNuggets here. Hope you're doing well, man. One day we'll get you on. You just got
the legend of McNuggets. Is that his name?
Oh, yeah, he's just McNuggets, but he's a legend. So I met him, and if most people sort of met him in the Aussie community when we had a meetup last year in Sydney, and that was great. We went on a bit of a cruise, and out to tea and had some drinks and stuff like that. So it was really good to get together as a community. That's what got me streaming, actually, meeting the Aussie guys face to face, and Dozza calling me, invited me to jump on. So yeah, it was a great time. It's definitely different when you actually meet people in person. That you're into the same things, and you see them on Twitter. When you can put the face to the name, and you spent some real time together. It's completely different to
very trippy experience
from the screen. Yeah.
Do you ever have a long term? Like, do you ever talk to somebody that was lived very far, right, and you got to know them online before you ever met them in person? At younger, I don't know, like you were dating somebody or something.
No, I haven't had that. I guess the main time I've had that is in this in this ecosystem. People like HEXican and Dozza and stuff like that I got to meet. That was really cool. And I've always been a bit of a fanboy of 43 OG, but he didn't make it to that meetup. So but have you had that sort of experience before?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I had it as a kid too, man. There was a thing called, I made a lot of friends that we used to have a website called Chat Roulette, and you would just basically get randomized with other, like Omegle was something very similar. People used to do it weird. Used to be 14, 15 years old. And I had a couple of friends that I met and was friends with for many years before I ever met them in person. But definitely second to that would be these cool crypto meetups. Yeah.
That's awesome. I spent a lot of time when I was younger, probably around those ages, playing Counter-Strike, pretty hardcore. And so I didn't really get into any chat rooms and stuff with that, but you'd see, if I ever met someone, or I'd go to an internet cafe, and then I'd realize that one of the screen names, they were in the same place, and then I met them. So I guess that's similar.
That's cool.
That was pretty cool. Realizing that they're actually local when you're playing a worldwide thing. So it's good stuff. Who else we got in here? We got Retro Static. High tech guys, the future is here. Yep, indeed. I think we're part of Fast Abdul's part of making the future. I think I'm commentating it a little bit. I think Pharaoh's making it nice and loud about it, and it's so good. Putting Guru, haven't seen you in here before either. It's so good. Hit the subscribes, guys, because we still haven't hit 1,000, and we're hanging for that. Here we go. Misael Lopez, Fast Abdul looks like an alien. Well, you never know.
In a spaceship. Yeah.
A fighting ring spaceship, eh? Quinny Jin, hey mate, thanks for joining in again. So we got 63 people watching, which is beautiful. I just wanted to play this. I don't know if either of you guys get into what the hex at all, but they played a video earlier today, and this is the side of it where I where I struggle with the PDI thing, because if this is true that somebody's AI'd this video to say different things, it's oh man, things are getting scary if people are getting pulled in that direction. But this goes for a little minute, so there's sort of, it seems like there's two versions of this this video with Erica Wall.
Like it.
So it's this
So
one
this is-
here.
yeah.
Let me know if you have audio.
I hope we have.
Has lower transaction fees. It plugs into the DeFi ecosystem. You could use it as collateral for DAI. You could use it on distributed exchanges. It is its own as lower transaction fees.
It's just this short clip.
Yeah.
And well, god damn it, I watched the whole interview, and this is not there. What I think is the second video I sent you.
This with the banana.
That's it. That's someone. Maybe someone manipulated it, and
Where is that?
and we all like
Okay.
where it was taken from.
Okay, hold on. That would be wild, but it's very possible.
Man, I sent.
Right, you keep so is if let's just say it's
Oh.
just a speculative stickiness
This?
game. We're the first cryptocurrency to have a chart of future
Now
market
he starts to.
We're the first cryptocurrency to address
Yeah,
the
with the
tiny
fingers.
market, which is a multi-trillion-dollar market, larger than fiat currency. It addresses a larger market than Bitcoin does. It's more censorship resistant than Bitcoin. It's got a better mining ecosystem than Bitcoin. It plugs into DeFi. It's fucking free.
Plugs into
If you want
DeFi.
free Bitcoin, you
This
can't
is-
fucking
this
get it.
is the
If you want free
manipulated
Hex, you
part.
can get that.
You're not giving
I
up.
mean, if you
Okay.
let,
Let's check
great,
again.
awesome.
Let's check again. This is crazy if that's true.
Has lower transaction fees. It plugs into the DeFi ecosystem. You could use it as collateral for DAI. You could use it on distributed exchanges. It is its own as lower transaction fees. It plugs into.
Anyway, so that's that. I don't know if you caught. Look at Fast Abdul. Oh, bloody hell. Now you definitely look like an alien.
Better fitting.
Oh, mate, that's awesome. Yeah, so that's that video. I just find it a bit funny if when things start getting manipulated, and if that is what's happened, I
That's
could
what
be
they're
wrong.
saying. That's an AI video.
So the video is not, but supposedly speculation is that there's that snippet has been changed, talking about it being being able to be collateralized with DAI. So like, I don't know. It could be in there somewhere, but I know Peter goes through stuff pretty hard. And so that's just how I don't like things that could get thrown off, very easily if people start making stuff up. If it's for a joke.
Dude, and people are gullible, man. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, and that's the craziest part, right? Is we don't have a way to we don't necessarily have digital footprints for everything that is just open to the public where you can see these things. And I think that is something that needs to come out equally with all of this AI stuff, because like you said, it is going to make things very, very tricky, and people are just going to be able to get swayed in so many different directions at whatever point, at the whim of just people who just have the access to make more believable things.
Yeah. It's I mean, whether it's that video or other things, the AI stuff is getting to a stage where it's amazing, but can be pretty scary too. I've got our mate, our local resident, Base Radian's here, and he's jumped on. We'll just get him on. Hey man, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, you're a bit glitchy there, but hopefully that clears up.
Oh, one sec.
Yeah, that's cool. All good. Bitfinesse is saying, yeah, sounds like Hex is a better Bitcoin. Yep, indeed. That's the
I've heard that
narrative.
before.
Yeah, exactly. That's gold. That I'm not sure how much longer I can handle that photo of you, Fast Abdul.
I'll see what I can do.
It's amazing. Good stuff. Yeah, while we're waiting for Base Radian, why don't we check this out? Because I don't know if you saw this yet, Pharaoh, but you got a little bit of a shout out just as the stream started.
Shout out to my boy, Mr. Pharaoh. We love and appreciate you, sir. Keep it up. You got some fire beats, great voice. Keep sharing your talents, bro. We love it.
That is dope. I never would have seen that if you didn't just play that.
How is that? That's killer, hey? What a shout out.
Man, yeah. You need those moments, you know what I'm saying? Those things are like everything. Getting that energy, because you know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so much you can see in a day as a person and understand for yourself. And for me, I think a part of, what allows me to do what I do is also, in a way, sometimes disassociating from the effect, because I'm really just you know, having fun making the music, and I have to kind of stay in that vibe. So
yeah, no, it's killer.
Yeah,
Stay in that
I'm
for sure, man.
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. And
you know,
yeah,
and we're
shout
only
out.
in the beginning, man. We're you know, this is just the beginning of it too, and I think that's what's so funny. I wrote a tweet earlier. I said I'm not a top signal because when I started posting, everybody, you know, I think that was a lot of people's first reactions. At first was like, yo, oh my gosh, like top signal. But I'm like, guys, like we're, you know, if anything, like it would make sense if I was a celebrity. I'm no major celebrity. You know, I might be on the C or D list, the D, you know, D- list, but listen, I'm here to help us have an energy, you know what I'm saying? And I think that music is such a powerful form of manifestation. So, you know, why not continue to release that type of energy into the universe, and other people are playing it, you know what I'm saying? It can spark that energy inside of you, create that moment. Maybe you feel low in your day and you can listen to something and it just realigns you with your motivation and, you know, purpose in the universe. That is why I wanted to make it, and why I try to keep a lot of these songs very energetic. I have a lot of melodic music. And I think, you know, I will go there. Like, that is what I love to do, is melodies and stuff. But just it's been really fun to do like this rap energy. And I know people like are just riding around, and you know what I'm saying? When you have those euphoric moments, like, or even those other days where you need a little bit of hope, those musical moments are very important.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Music does amazing things to people, and really, yeah, like you said, everything you said, basically, I agree. Keeps them going, keeps them in a good mindset. It, you know, does those things to your brain, where, yeah, they hear the Hex stuff enough, or PulseChain or whatever it is, gets them in the vibe, and they'll be joining in, and just getting that stuff stuck in their head. So we're loving it. Base Radian, what's happening, man?
Yeah, not much. I was just had to make. I was a bit late, but no, it's all right. I've been super busy. I'm writing a white paper. I go over it and over and over and over and over. And keep going over it again until it's like it's amazing. But
lovely. That'll be tedious work.
Who's going to read this?
Yeah. No, it's actually like there's a version of it online, but it's out of date. So just I'll let everyone know about it once I'm pretty happy with it.
That's cool.
My experience is not many of the users of protocols actually ever read the white paper. It's you're writing for 4 other devs.
Yeah. No, but like there needs to be like some sort of outline of like how this thing's going to go down, and it's basically just for me, I think. But
that's fine too. It's your white paper. It's also your like your plan, right? So that's that.
Yeah. Everyone's going to ignore everything and just buy it on Uniswap and hold it, probably, if they do anything. So
yeah, I think it's good to have like a simplified version as well. Like a sort of, you know, have that full detailed tech side, you know, into nitty gritty, and then some nice graphs, and, you know,
almost need like an AI, like, explain to me like I'm 5, and then just be like, you do this, and then the price goes up. Yeah,
exactly. I've done that in Grok a couple of times lately, and it's actually hilarious. It's like, okay,
it's pretty good.
You treat me like I'm actually 5, but explain it to me like I'm 5. You know, it's like, don't bring in all the child stuff. But yeah, it's funny. It's gold. We've got Mr. Star Trek now, don't we? So thanks for changing it up.
I love the theme change so quick.
I'm glad you spaceship requests, so I like to fulfill that.
And he's changing the outfit to the too.
I know. I'm glad he turns the camera off for that part. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
It's True Blue is complaining.
Maybe his shirt's just green.
So.
They like green screen on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know that PulseTube website that shows all the fancy stuff about who's live and all that? I'll bring it up. So you can see here, DeFi Down Under, we're live, and it has all the next people in line that have, you know, scheduled streams. And you can look through all the, you know, PulseChain, PulseX, Hex, and all that sort of stuff. They're actually doing something pretty cool, which is a like an aggregator and bringing some AI into it, where you can just search Hex and it'll bring up all the YouTube streams that are going to have that on there. So check this out.
What's the full website?
The PulseTube.com. And so here you can see they've just typed in Hex, and then it comes up with all the streamers that are talking about Hex, and then the videos around them, the most recent ones, with their streams and stuff like that. So you're not just going to see things like DeFi Down Under and Matty Allen only. You know, you've got, who's this, Durky Turkey? They've talked about Hex. Crypto Kings, DJ Khaled, like all these other people, or even the Ivan on Tech streams. If you want to just find out when he talks about it or what he's said, you just type that in, and bang, it's there. So it's almost like that that Richard Hart one. What was that called again? I can't remember that. I
remember that one. That one was handy for like schooling people.
I typed it in the other day, but on stream, I just all those thoughts go out of my head. But there's that one where you can just look up what he's talked about in his streams as well. So yeah, it's amazing. I think we just keep on building, so it's bloody good. What else has been happening? We've got PulseChain being, I think it was number 6 the other day for volume on Dex Screener. And today it's sitting at number 7, I'm pretty sure. Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 6?
True. I would love to know a little bit to kind of ask you the same question you asked me earlier. What was your introduction into the PulseChain ecosystem? How did you get here now?
Yeah. Thanks for that. Look, I had a mate who got onboarded into Hex, and they made him, or not made him, but his mate said, buy this, we'll set you up with a MetaMask and stake it. And then he just was eyeballing the price, and I talked to him on the phone quite a bit, and he just kept telling me about the price. And at that stage, it was sort of hovering, I think about 20 cents or something. This is after it had already done the big run up. So I wasn't here for the first, the first amazing bull run. But yeah, just hearing him talk about it nonstop, he obviously got hooked. So I started looking up Richard Hart and looking into it. And the first things I saw was, scammer and all that sort of stuff. So I just kept diving, and then I got hooked, realized my opinion, that he's not a scammer and that Hex is a real thing. And there's so many believers, and that's what, got me hooked on it. And I just started to slowly dip into it. And yeah, here we are. So, a couple of years later, been around for the full bear market, where there's been some pretty amazing prices. And yeah, I had that sort of real conviction feeling that you were talking about, where it's like, you just know that it's a good thing. And, you can really see a community banding together. And that's something that's important to me. I've been involved in car, communities and things like that for a long time, and that was like your campfire. You'd all get together and talk about that, and that's where you grew friendships and learned things off each other, and grew together. And then I also have that in my church, same sort of thing. Get together, we all have common interests, and we all grow together, learn together, and that sort of thing. And this is what the Hex community at first, but PulseChain's done for me. So that's my number one thing I feel like I'm here for, is community, and friendship. And then the other things are just an added wicked bonus, which I can see, is just around the corner. So yeah,
that's amazing. I think for me, I was just for the first year that I was involved in crypto, I never used X. I think I had some, bad experiences in the past where I felt like it was just sucking the life out of me, and I deleted it for, quite a few years. And then I was working on, I did a crypto record like a few months ago, really. And my friend was like, oh, okay, well, like you need to like get on X because people want to like interact with you, but you don't have one. I was like, okay, like I get on there, and then I see like, because I'd been on Instagram, I've been on TikTok, where the algorithm showed me a little bit, but I definitely wasn't involved. So coming onto this platform, and really now I get to feel the entire community. You get to hang out with these familiar faces, you know what I'm saying? And I think some things that are really important is like the positivity throughout. I think that is such an important thing within the culture to maintain. Positivity, community, unity, you know, and you know, we're gonna ride this wave of greatness together.
I agree. 100%. And the unity thing is something where I think we all have that common interest and we all want it to go one way, but there's a bit of push and pull, and that's the same in any community, or people call, you know, it a tribe or a, you know, cabal or whatever you want to call it. There's always a bit of riffraff and infighting and things like that. Usually that doesn't seem to you know, be any louder than the positivity. So I'm enjoying that. Ross is commenting just what I was saying on before. Hey Ross, by the way, thanks for jumping on. But yeah, about PulseChain being number 6 on Dex Screener for volume, which is pretty huge. And he's saying DeFi Llama, it's number 12 by total value locked. So it's moving up very fast. And I can just see, you know, the thumbnail for today, it was Drop the Case, which happens to be a title of a song by Pharaoh. But, you know, a matter of time. How long do we think that's going to be, Base Radian?
Not sure. I haven't been keeping too up to it with it because I'm so bogged down with working stuff. But hopefully not long.
I reckon could be really any time from here. They said about 60 to 90 days is probably a fair thing. Christmas being in the way might push it along, but who knows what sort of surprise we'll get. Fast Abdul, what do you
respond in 60 in that timeline? Like 90 days is like the cutoff where the judge has to make a response, I think. So we should
look out.
You know, that's the deadline. Yeah. We could hear it before the 90 days. I could be off. It could be 60 days, but there was a definitive deadline somewhere in there to get Nuclear Herbs on to tell us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are we saying like 60 days from today?
From the court hearing that was, what, about 3 or 4 weeks?
Don't quote me on that. 60 to 90, it was somewhere in there.
Yeah. I can't remember the date now. It's like, you know, I had that
it's
date
a while ago.
Yeah, it's about probably 4 weeks ago or something, 4 or 5 weeks.
I would say I would guess it will be in line with the Trump inauguration.
Yeah, look, I think we're getting a lot of clarity about what's going to happen with the SEC, and there's a lot of things starting, you know, to really push the crypto into a positive side with them, and you know, make it a bit more feasible. And a reality for all of us. There's this, where is it? This Stand With Crypto site. It didn't let me go any further into it right now because I'm not set to the right VPN settings, if I was even to use one. But yeah, this is a site that Richard Hart shared, just talking about, basically jumping in there and showing your conviction behind crypto and saying that you want it to, you want it to play a part, and you can get in there and sign that and vote if you're in the US.
That's amazing.
Have you jumped onto that? Fast Abdul, have you had a look at that one?
I haven't seen that one. No. I'm not in the US, but it's
no. But I thought it'd be good if everyone can jump on there and have a look, and put in for that.
It does in a way feel like the Matrix was kind of changed its course. You know what I'm saying? Definitely with all of this. I mean, really, there was a time when everything was weary. I remember kind of like a little bit before the elections and whatnot. The atmosphere is so different than it is right now. I mean, people are just throwing out million
changed
Bitcoin
timeline.
left and right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
In a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, in a
too.
good way. In a good way. We narrowly avoided a bad timeline.
Yep, I agree. I think it's playing out like perfectly. And I think, Richard being, the lead, well, not the leader, the founder of PulseChain, and in a lot of people's eyes, a leader. I think he knows what's going on and knows the timeline. And I think it's just going to be, just all perfect when it comes out. And, some people, there's a lot of impatience, but that's because, money is very emotional to people. And if you don't know what's going on and there's uncertainty, that throws you out. So I understand, why there's a bit of that going on.
Or you gotta use your money. You know what I'm saying? Like some people they have things going on in their life. I think that, and a lot of people are either forced to feel emotional or, or just or don't understand how these things work. And unfortunately, it's just a part of the game. But we are on a beautiful path right now. And everybody can recognize that at least. So I'm glad everybody can at least come together. Maybe not on everything, but we know we're heading in an upward direction.
That's it, definitely. There's even been a bit about all this Binance hype at the moment, which I found pretty interesting. It could be a whole heap of just hype about not much. A bit like how some people are feeling about the PDI thing. But if this happens and, all the sort of teasers we're getting lead somewhere to some sort of listing or backing by Binance, man, it's just going to be, rockets from here. It's going to be absolutely amazing. There's been talk about Richard, even in some way trying to support CZ while he was locked up. He posted, this was back in June, but saying, I wonder how you send mail to CZ while he's in prison. And then he posted saying, while some people were trash talking Binance, others were writing amicus briefs for them. It's not useful for bad precedents to create bad law. So, amazing stuff. Richard has a pretty big legal team. And if he can put that to use in any other ways to defend crypto, not just for PulseChain and Hex, I think that's a really good way to play it, hit it from all angles.
Yeah. It's clever because it benefits everyone.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Even that latest thing that Elon Musk posted, not sure if you guys have seen that yet, but it was a letter to the SEC from him.
Oh, yeah.
By his legal team. I can't find it right now, but it was by Quinn Emanuel, which we know he's used before, that law firm, but that's the same one that Richard's using, and it's about overreach with the SEC and stuff like that. So, and
wow,
a lot of people call Quinn Emanuel, the most feared law firm in the world. So if they've got them on board, and they're getting hit with all these angles, it's how long till the door is broken down.
Was that the one where he mentions who's who are you taking orders from? And he's they're specifically talking to Gary Gensler.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I can't find it to bring it up at the moment, but yeah, it's and then the other things with the Binance is that we've got CZ has followed your friend Somi, or our friend Somi, which once again could be a tease, could be anything, but there's a follow there. And
if they don't have intention behind it, man, it is so messed up, because why do they do that? They know how the communities are. If you don't, you know what I'm saying? If you know better, you should do better. And so I really hope that, all these things mean something for us, because, we deserve it as a community for sure.
Yep, I agree. It's, if they are teasing, then that sucks. But if they're going to use it as a hint, man, once that happens, imagine the noise that the community is going to make. That's just going to blow the doors off. It's going to go nuts. So definitely exciting times, and everyone's just, waiting with bated breath to see what happens at the moment.
More hints.
Yeah, please.
More often.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's very good. There's some other crypto influencer that everyone thought, she, if it's a she, is from Binance, but really she's just got like just got an orange diamond in her name. But regardless, I think she's got like 80,000 followers or something, which is great. But yeah, she's posting stuff about PulseChain all the time at the moment, trying to sort of engagement farm. And any sort of farming, engagement farming is good. I don't have a problem with that. So all of these big followers and big accounts are, starting to see the noise we're making, and people like Hexologist seem to be, either drumming that up or making the most of it when they do. So it's bloody good. But yes, who else we got here? We got, who's this? Arrows. Oh, he's making up different names for PulseChain, but PulseChain. He caught me there. PulseChain and PulseChain. Yeah, good on you. Hans, is that a god candle among the green fart clouds?
These are eucalyptus scented clouds around the god candle. So there's a relaxing aroma as you are being lifted into euphoric greatness.
There we go. As long as it's only eucalyptus. That's
yeah. Any chance to shill fart.
He loves it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Gee, we need to bait the exchange users to be knocking on their doors. Yeah. I mean,
what are gonna do?
They would know that the P copies are there. They're not silly. And they have eyes everywhere. And that, people that work at those exchanges would be invested in Pulse and Hex. Like, there's no doubt about it. So they would know that there's P copies there. How they're going to do that, I'm not sure, because some of them have a lot of liquidity and some have not much at all. So I think that's the next play, personally, when we really get a big green shot into the ball. I think that's when maybe these farms come back with P copies. That's what I'm sort of hoping for. Do you reckon that'll happen fast?
I think there could be farms with P copies. I think there are farms with P copies.
Sorry, there definitely are. I'm talking about on the PulseX front end. But yeah, definitely like incentive farms, I guess I'd call it then. But yes, definitely your or the 2FUX protocol is smashing it for those sort of farms, and pretty decent rewards too.
Oh yeah, no, we have like P copies earning 200-300%. Honestly, I don't think we're going to see P copy farms apart from PHEX, which is a P copy, on PulseX anytime soon. I could be wrong. It's not like it wouldn't take long. Like a dev could add the farms in a couple hours, right? Like it's a master chef fork. It's like literally like, a couple clicks and they could be there. Yeah, unless there's a big change somehow, I can't see that being immediately imminent, but who knows? Yeah, Richard hasn't DM'd me for quite a while and asked my advice on this, so I'll check. There could be something in my inbox.
Yeah, you have to just double check. Just hit the refresh, man. You might have something there.
People would see that as a sign, obviously, if there was. And the speculation, like early on when PulseX first launched, there were farms for P copies, right? Like there's farms for PWBTC and P Pepe and
Link, even for a sec, I'm pretty sure, was it?
Could be. Let me see if
I
I
reckon
can
that
pull that
for
data.
like a few hours or something. What do you think the reason behind that was? Do you think that was a test or a tease, or?
Honestly, and this is just my opinion, I think it was a failed experiment.
Righto. Yep.
People did not participate at that time, right? I think it might be different now. There's a new narrative, right?
Yeah.
At that time, it was not the narrative. I think some of them were changed because of the effect they were having on other things. Like there was the PHEX and EHEX farm, right?
Yes,
and
sure.
and it was bolstering the price of EHEX in particular. For like, there was a time where I think EHEX was worth more than PHEX around then, but once it was pulled from the farm, it started to decline, and then Richard did other things that made it further decline later on. So it's hard to say that wasn't his plan for it to decline. But as far as like the pulse wrap Bitcoin and stuff like that, like I think they could have stayed and it probably would have been good. But I feel like that it was put out there, it got some hype in, and then it was redirected somewhere else. And Basket probably comment, but like with these farms, like these MasterChef forks, like you only have so much financial momentum, right? So if you had, like on PulseX, there's relatively few pairs that you can farm with. And when you add more, you're diluting the other farms, basically, right? Like, if you say this much of the yield's going to this pool, then less yield's going to the other ones. So what are you going to take it from? Are you going to make like Hex Pulse pay less? Are you going to make PulseX Pulse pay less? Like which farm should you remove to add these P copies? So I think there would have to be a reason. And that's probably the reason they were pulled, was to redirect the energy into the core tokens. So if it is found in the future that Richard or whoever controls that front end feels that other P copies are also core, then I think they would be added as farms again. But money always comes from somewhere, and it's coming from the other farms if that happens, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've wondered about that as well, because we've seen not like a suppressed price, but there's a lot of reasonable amount of liquidity there at the moment with the Hex and Pulse and stuff like that. If those farms were removed and then these P copies put in, do you think the liquidity would dry up a lot in those major pairs to then maybe take us into space where you are?
Well, I think you would definitely lose liquidity. Like if you pulled any one of those pairs, like I'm looking at right now, and like as far as the liquidity goes, what's the smallest USDC from Ethereum to Pulse is only $17 million, right? So that's the smallest one. Or no, USDT is 60 million and change. Like, so stable coins, but like, okay, do you want to have less stable coins on the chain? Because that would be a way to do it, would be to pull that. Now those stable coins might go somewhere else. They might go to the Flux exchange. But the whole point of this is to get liquidity on the chain. That's the purpose of the farm. For the users, of course, they're getting yield and there's all this great stuff. But from a founder perspective, like, you're trying to get users to put liquidity in so you don't have to put liquidity in. And it's hard to say which of those pairs that I would kill. Maybe you could take out Ink Pulse or Ink PulseX and just have one of the two. You got to keep Hex Pulse. You got to keep PulseX Pulse. You could take out Ethereum or one of the stable coins, but still, it's like those are all like huge assets on chain, right? Like this $28 million worth of Ethereum on the Pulse chain in this farm. You want Ethereum bros to come farm your stuff, right? So like, why would you take that away?
Exactly.
It's a tough call.
Yep. Fair point. We're gonna you'll have to talk about that on the Game Theory Gang and see what you can come up with. It's definitely a lot of moving pieces there to play with. So we'll see. Yeah. We had just had DJ Cryptomatic. Hey mate, thanks for jumping on and for what you do with What the Hex and all your DJ stuff. You're going to have to add some of Pharaoh's music to your Hex streams and stuff like that. When you, I know for the 5th birthday you did just all the Hex music. Stuff like that.
I got him a couple of things in time too.
Oh, you did. I didn't see it.
I got more. I've done so many since then. I've got more. I just okay. Honestly, I'll send you a open drive folder, and I'll just keep adding to it, so you can always go back and check. And I'll just continue to put new music in there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be amazing. I'd love to. Love to see that. That'd be killer. We got Kanga here as well. Thanks for that. It's nice of you. We like to jump on and just talk crap and hopefully you guys, so that's very nice. We had 2 songs of his, but it was snippets. Ah, there we go.
Yes, I do have short
Yep.
versions.
That's cool. There's also the I'm going to put your link tree. Well, first
I appreciate that greatly.
Yeah, first I'll put your Twitter in the chat for anyone that wants to jump on and follow Pharaoh. But his link tree's here as well. And check out his Spotify. It's awesome.
Yep. And you can find me everywhere. It's going to be under the same screen name that you're seeing right here. You can type this in anywhere around the world on most sites that have to do with anything music or videos or social media, and find me there.
Oh, that's cool, man. No, thank you. We'll have to one day down the track see if we can sharpen up that intro video and get
Absolutely.
you involved. That'd be bloody amazing. So
where did you shoot that?
I just built that on a I sat here for ages and I was using all those programs to build music. Now I just did it on an AI. Actually, I put the lyrics in, came up with some lyrics and put that in, and put in the type of music I thought I'd like, and that's what popped out, and I just chopped it up a little bit. So
I would love to figure out the how to do get into these AI videos. I feel like that's what I really need a lot with the community, and I'm not really good with the AI videos, but I know the sky's the limit, and I see so many other people out there. I'm like, man, there's so much sick stuff that we can be doing to a lot of these songs. I just simply don't have that technology.
Yeah.
We know what's out there.
That's it. I know Crypto Coffee has sort of gone right into all of the AI stuff with his, making shorts and stuff like that. So he'd be probably someone good to hit up just for that type of side of it.
Yeah,
but the actual AI videos, I'm trying to think of the guy that does a lot of intros. Do you know his name, Fast?
Markable.
Markable, yeah. He does
Proof of
amazing.
Beard.
Yeah. Proof of
Crypto
Beard.
what? Perfect
Proof
beard?
of Beard. Yeah. We'll try and hook you up with him and see what if he might be able to help you out with some stuff. But yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, so good. Righto.
Wonderful show, guys.
Pardon? What was that?
Wonderful show. Sure.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's all good fun always. Have you guys that are more into the tech base, Radian and Fast Abdul, what's your take on this quantum? We know it's been coming for a while and all that, quantum computing and the chips and stuff. What's your take on the most recent sort of thing that it's like we had a dip from the quantum FUD the other day?
Quantum FUD.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly I don't know if this has been checked, but now that it can be done, but there was a way to do encryption that is quantum resistant, and that was possible before the advent of this. So it's interesting to see if that's possible crackable. What I would like to mention is that legacy finance is in more trouble than decentralized finance is, in regards to like the way banks operate and the technology they use, is much older and much more out of date by like 25 years now.
Right.
So yeah, I would start hacking people's bank accounts before I would start hacking crypto. Even if like that could be done. I haven't looked too into it, but I knew this was going to be a thing eventually, and here it is. So
yeah.
Yeah, it depends who wields it, I guess, and how it's used, and there is a possible way to stop it. So
yeah,
it's just not built into everything yet.
Yeah, righto. Fast Abdul, do you have much to say about that?
I am not well informed about quantum computing. I know I'm, in a spaceship and all, but yeah, sounds like a scary word.
Yeah. Look, the other part of it is, am I right in thinking that if you've got your seed phrase and then you've also got a passphrase on top of that, because I know that Papa Bona did it once on a Hex conference. He sort of showed how many multiples of different variations there are once you put a seed phrase in as well.
Yeah.
Does that make it even harder for for even.
It doesn't make
Yeah.
it impossible, especially if they have your wallet address. But then even then, you can derive addresses off that. So you can have like not the first address, which can be zero balance, right?
Yeah.
But you can have like the 300. I don't go that high. I mean, I could, but who knows?
Yeah.
But you could derive addresses up so that when they check it,
You just muted. Oh, you're back. Yeah.
You're still muted.
Yeah. I think you're muted. That's all
Call a
good.
dev.
Go, yeah.
Oh.
No any devs.
Can the dev do something?
broke it. So yeah, it makes it more difficult and it makes it less likely, but it's not impossible. Yeah, I still haven't looked at the actual news report, but I knew this was a thing before it was possible, and so now it's possible. We'll see.
Yeah.
You're pretty unlikely, I think, unless like they start just a really malicious attack, and even then, TradFi would be, I would think, a bigger target.
Yeah, and let alone how many millions of wallets there are or seed phrases out there.
Safety in numbers by that kind of metric.
There's things you can do too to make it so that it's harder for a hacker who had endless resources and time. The infinite monkeys, infinite typing theory. To get into your wallet, like with the Trezor. Of course, you have your seed phrases offline, so that's good. But you can also add in secret words. And if your secret words are secret phrases, I mean like 27 characters, right? Like
or hashes of secret phrases.
It adds significant difficulty. Like the math goes up. Like when you add, like let's say you have 12 seed words. When you add another 12, it's not twice as hard. It's like many times as hard. Like
orders of
million
magnitude
times harder or something.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's good stuff. I'm not too worried about it. I bought the quantum dip and holding on for dear life. So going to ride it to the top or ride it to the bottom. We'll see what happens, eh? It's going to be good fun. Yep. What else have we got? I was going to bring up, I just wanted to talk about Hex for a minute because we quite often get sidetracked talking about all sorts of other things when that's what really brought us all here. And I see it as a pretty amazing store of value. This is at hex.win, and we usually use Crispy Man's version, but I thought I'd bring this one up today. That's being shared. Yep. So the current stake, as this is on PulseChain, seems to still be on the uptick slightly. We're at 131,000. What is it? 633. So still moving up, even though I thought you weren't supposed to stake now because we're all selling next year. But the reason that's a good reason to stake is because this T-share rate. Check that out. That's a graph that only goes up and to the right, and we're at what 39,000 hex per T-share at the moment. And just a year ago, we're at 31,000. I'm trying to get that to. It won't stay on there, but it was about 31,000 last year. So this thing is only going to keep going up. And anyone that does have stakes, you can just see the amount of hex you're getting per day, per T-share. Is only going up as well, and if you hold on for the long run for those sort of those long stakes that you've got out there, they could be just small amounts, like savings accounts type thing, which is what the idea was, wasn't it? Like a CD on the blockchain. So if you hold them out, you're going to start getting paid, in years to come, 10, 15 hex per T-share or something, and that's huge, especially when you start getting these spikes of emergency end stakes and stuff like that. It's going to be good stuff. I'm loving the Desi still, and the farms, like on 2 fucks with the with all the perpetuals together. I think that's a good way to go. Sit there and farm that away for a little bit. And yeah, my only thought with that one is that I was going to ask you, Fast Abdul, is when when they come to maturing, they seem to sort of peg back to the price if they're at a discount, and they'll probably, I don't know what will happen with the ones that are at a premium, if they're going to come back down and arbitrage towards then, or what. What would happen then with your I know it would be small, but the impermanent loss in that situation in a farm with 5 tokens?
Yeah, so we have three actually, 3 farms with the DESI tokens, and one's all the DESI tokens from Ethereum, not all of them, but I think most of them, and one's all the DESI tokens on PulseChain.
Yeah.
And so with those tokens, I believe the Maxi token, like the one that's a tokenized 15-year stake, that one's not perpetual, meaning it doesn't restart itself when it's done. So that's a long ways in the future. I believe all the other ones are perpetual, meaning that when they hit the deadline, it'll restart, it'll restake the hex. But there's an opportunity for the users to basically cash in on that, because they get their share of the ended hex stake, and there's a window where they could do that. Now, coming up to that window, they're likely going to increase in value. So base, the one that's a 1-year token, and that one's turned over already. The next one will be Trio, which is a 3-year hex stake. So as it on Trio, when it gets close to that 3-year mark where people are going to be able to basically unstake it, though it's somebody else is pressing the unstake button, the same thing's happening now. The price will gradually rise, and so there's some permanent loss, but if you're thinking long term, you'll win, because as the price goes up, there's impermanent loss, there's swap fees being generated, you're getting more of the tokens in your wallet, right? So the total number of tokens in that pair, which is 6 tokens or something, you end up with more, and they're all basically hex representatives. So you have hex paired against hex, etc. So if you were only doing it for a month and it was the month before the redemption date, that'd be bad. But if you were doing it for 5 years, right? You move through multiple, we'll say 6 years with the Trio token, for example, you move through multiple cycles where it goes all the way up, and then the premium would go down because it'd be 3 years away from the redemption. The fees that would generate because of the impermanent loss, which is generating fees, you would likely win. When you look at the ratios, how much is a hex stake paying, right? And the number that's bandied about is 38%. And if this is paying you anywhere close to that on average, which often they are, plus you have these tokens. So you have options. You could unstake your LP, you could remove that token from the pair, you could redeem it, you could 3 months before the date, you could remove it so that you wouldn't have that impermanent loss. Or you could just ride it through. If you're a long-term staker, why not just be a long-term farmer of these Maximus DAO tokens? I think those are the people who are going to win the hardest. And I suspect, just from the volumes of the pools, that's what many of the holders are doing. That's probably what the founders are doing. Those are big pools. Not a lot of people are pulling all their LP all of a sudden. So I think yield farming is a long-term game. So if you're looking at 15-year hex stakes, and instead of doing 15-year hex stakes, you win in that pool for 15 years, I think the numbers would be hilariously good in compared to just staking hex.
Yep. No, I agree with that. That's a great way of looking at it. And I think it's all about the long game, isn't it? Holding on for that. If you're going to go into those farms, you got to think about the time frame, where you're at, where the market's at, where you're at financially, how long you want to hold on for. And those, with the Trio, DESI, and all that, the perpetuals, I'm looking at holding them till they're done, or even for the rollover for some of them. Definitely got my eye on the DESI one more than anything. So I think there's going to be a lot that happens, right at that time, at that 10-year mark. It's going to be an interesting.
At least one good year of farming, though, because the next one up is Trio, and it's not for a bit. So
Yeah.
You could be in that for a year without really having to think about that issue very much at all. And a year is a long time in crypto. So I think, I think they are really good farms as far as like impermanent loss, which is when, one token goes up faster or down faster than the others in the pair. You end up with more of the token that's worth less and less of the token that's worth more. Like these will be minimal compared to most other liquidity farming options. There's only a couple I can think of that are probably better. Like stable coins, of course, we're paying like $1 against $1 is, unless one of them unpegs, you're likely not experiencing much impermanent loss. And then there's the vouch pool where you're pairing Pulse against liquid stake Pulse. Well, that's going to have very little impermanent loss too. Those are probably the only ones that would have less impermanent loss than those Maximus DAO pools. Yep,
that's cool. I'm looking forward to the time when it's time to jump into some of those stable pools. It's going to be there's a lot of people in them now, but yeah, there's going to be some good times as well to get through the bear market and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, there's going to be some hot stable pools in the bear market. I think the Pulse chain is going to be the place for stables, just because there's going to be great farming loops that you'll be able to do. There's going to be additional things that aren't here now to make the farms pay even more. And there's going to be just more financial energy focused towards making those farms pay more. So, if people can make 20%, 30% on their stables through a bear market on PulseChain, you would see massive amounts of money bridged over from Ethereum. And it's the same protocols people are using on Ethereum. Like we have Balancer, which is basically a fork of Curve. That's what they have on Ethereum, and that's where all the money lives. So it would just come live on PulseChain if it was paying more and the fees were cheaper. We could actually look really good in the bear market. And then the next bull market, like the next PulseChain cycle, is actually what I'm most bullish for. The next PulseChain cycle could be hilariously good when people deploy their billions in stables.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What do you got, Face Radian? Just give me 2 secs.
I didn't have anything specifically to say, although the farming ecosystem is pretty damn good, particularly for stables, which is good in a bear market when the capital comes out of the more risky assets that are going down at like 80%. And moves to stables, and then you can make yield on stables. That seems like a no-brainer, especially when there's not a lot of price appreciation to be made during a bear market.
There's things that, like concepts that we'll put into play when we start coming to the top of the bull. In theory, nobody knows the day. And when we move into the bear, there's things that can be done to make these pools crazy. Just for example, like on PulseX, they have the stable swap LP now, where you have DAI paired with USDT and USDC, all from Ethereum. That LP token is fungible. It can be bought and sold if it's an LP pair, which has already been done. It's already been tested. And on something like the Flux Balancer fork, you could take that LP token that represents those three things that's burning PulseX, that is essentially worth $1, and you could pair it against other dollars, or you could pair it against LP tokens from the Flux exchange that could represent up to 8 types of stable coins. And you could have these stable LPs trading against stable LPs that are all essentially worth $1, that have inside them stable coins that are trading against each other. So you could add layers and layers and layers, and then you add that to something like 2 Flux that amplifies your yield and your voting power. So everybody's voting for that pool in the bear market. I'm pretty sure a lot of and the votes are just about which pool pays the most. So it's very much worth money. In the bear market, everybody's going to be voting for the stablecoin pools. So they'll be paying the most, even if token prices go down. And then if there's all this actual swapping between, and you end up with more total number of stablecoins in your wallet because of the compounding factor there. And there's you could basically be running, it'd be like you were in 27 pools at once to be in one pool. And that's where I think we could get the, that 20, 30%. And then there's even other things like the fiat protocol that's a fork of Aave. When you deposit a DAI from Ethereum into that pool, you get a receipt in your wallet that's called PH interest bearing DAI. And that, in theory, hasn't been done yet, but that could be, it has also a stable coin like value. It earns interest just existing. That's your receipt that you can redeem for said interest. But it has a dollar value. It could be put into these pools and paired with other things of the same nature. So like you could, there's probably not everybody understood that, but there's ways to amplify the yield on stable pools. It'll take effort, but it's like totally effort that we'll put in when we get into the right time. I don't feel myself like now is the right time to be all in on stables.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think so either. But the yield on yield stuff is getting out of control.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, there was similar kind of things happening over on Tron, which is why Tron was doing super well.
There we go.
Yeah. So there'll be some healthy competition there, and I think it'll be interesting. It'll be awesome to watch play out.
Definitely, it's a new, like, there's all these innovations, I guess, that in history I wasn't here for the previous cycles, but the building that just keeps happening and development is huge, and it just shows that crypto's here to stay, and you're not going to be knocking it down anytime soon. There's a question here from Yaveen. I don't know if you saw that. Fast Abdul. I'm not sure what the 4.5 years has to do with it, but she says Yaveen says, what happens when all the flux, I'll call it, and 2 flux are minted in 4.5 years?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So basically, like Flux and 2 Flux being a fork of Balancer and Aura Finance, respectively, the tokens are set to drip out on a 6-year schedule, and we're basically a couple years into that schedule. With 2 Flux, because it came online about a year after Flux, it the schedule was altered so that they would match. Now, these are forks of things from Ethereum that were forked a couple years, that were put in place a couple years before they were forked to PulseChain. So basically, we'll have a 2 years worth of data to know what will happen. So whatever Balancer does will give us an indication of what would be good to do on PulseChain. So whatever Aura Finance or Convex does or Curve does, like all these things are basically running similar sorts of pools and yield farming structures. So the first one that we'll see will probably be Curve, and then we'll see Curve and Convex because they're connected, and then we'll see Aura Finance and Balancer because they're connected, and we'll have that 2-year head start to see what they do. I think what will happen is there'll be like, oh, here's the new and better version that gets replaced, and like you hold these tokens, you get airdropped a new token, and off we go to the races again. I think that makes the most sense. Though there's another theory that the end holders of the tokens they wouldn't get any more of the tokens as yield, but they would get the yield that the DEX generates in terms of the actual dollars and cents that it makes, right? Like the fees, right?
Yep.
So which could be distributed like in a stable coin or something like that. So where you're getting Flux and 2 Flux right now, you might just get USDC in the future, for example.
That'd be pretty good.
Or the basket of tokens that the DEX takes as fees, because those fees are directed to the people who are in the staking pools for the tokens. So one of those 2 formats. My money's on the, hey, brand new, this is better, check it out. But it's not this cycle's problem. I know that too.
Yep, true.
Good question though. That
is a very good question. Yaveen's right into the whole Flux protocol and stuff like that. She always asking about that. So thanks for being on the money with it. Red Squirrel's here, our mate. Oi, oi.
Good question too.
Yeah, and Cal, who always hits us with the alpha, has said that Vitalik suggests that Ethereum could implement a recovery fork to protect users in the event of a quantum breach. Look out, another fork. We'll just keep forking.
Indeed.
Keep it going. That's good stuff. And what's this about Coast deploying a balance of V3 fork?
Yeah,
No
they
one-
made an announcement that they were doing something with a Balancer V3 fork. There's minimal difference between Balancer V2 and V3, except for there's not very many forks, if any, of V3. So I'm curious about that. There's very little data. What I think it's possible that they're not going to deploy like a full fork with a DEX. It'll just be more like a vault type system, which the Spark Swap guys have already done. It's like a partial fork. If it's a full fork with a full DEX, then that'll be interesting. Though, kind of redundant, honestly, at this point. And also, there is a concern that, like, okay, you're minting stable coins and you're running a DEX where those stable coins live. Is there a conflict of interest there?
Yeah, I do like the idea of them keeping it to one main channel. Almost like internet money, like KG. Really keeping it down to just the wallet and focusing on that and doing a good job at it. And then even things like, I know an on-ramp that they're looking at implementing isn't going to be their on-ramp. They're going to use a third party for that, so they don't get tied up in it. And yeah, stable coins, you want them to focus on keeping the coin stable, keeping that as a safe measure. So, hey, if they can do it and they've got the teams and whatever to do it, then
Their
great.
motivation would be partially to do with the stable coin, or mostly to do with the stable coin and keeping it stable, right?
Yep.
I think it'd be about having more pairs for the stable coin against other stable coins. That's part of what makes stable coins keep their peg. Because if USDC goes below the price of DAI or USDT, then people buy it up, because they'll be able to trade it back into the other thing. Or of course, stable coins can be redeemed, which makes them stable. But there ends up being arbitrage points, right? Which those things, bots eat up most of the money, of course. But more connections with more stable coins helps something maintain the peg.
Yep, definitely. Very true.
Which they've struggled with, so I can see why they'd be concerned.
No, fair enough. Yep, it's I have used that protocol before, and it's done all right. It's done its job. Not the fastest thing ever, but yeah, it's there. And it's good for. I think it's good for bigger dollars sort of coming in.
Oh yeah.
Can do it that way. So
definitely a benefit to the community. Like, it's an on-ramp is the main function of stable coins, which is one of the other reasons that it had trouble with its peg, is because it only has one purpose. It's like to get onto the Pulse chain and then you sell it, right? Like that's the whole reason it's there. Is so that you can get onto the Pulse chain and sell it into Pulse, right? Or whatever you want. So I think it does what it's supposed to do most of the time. And yeah, if those guys can make it do it better, great, good for them. If there's we'll have to see what opportunities that brings.
Yeah, no, I agree. The innovation's good, and we need the on ramps. And yeah, hopefully they can, keep it pegged as nicely as they can, and PDI doesn't get there before they do. But hey, all jokes aside, it sits around 98 cents type thing a lot of the time when I'm looking at it. So it's pretty stable there. So not hanging anything on them. And hey, they've got a Aussie team as well, and I'm all about that. And they're a bunch of good guys. So while we're talking about the yield and stuff like that, we talked about 2FUCks a bit and things like that. I don't want anyone to forget about Vouch, which was Jex's project, which is a liquid staking derivative basically for Pulse, where you can stake your Pulse on there. It's and basically get yield on that with a liquid token, and you can always trade that as well. So
and then you can get yield on your yield, because these liquid tokens are awesome for farming. So like the V Pulse versus Pulse pair, it's not paying a ton, it's paying almost 19%, but that's extra. Like, it's basically single-sided staking 19%. And that's on top of at least part of the yield that the Vouch protocol is paying itself for you to have minted that token, because you're still holding the Vouch token. You'll still be able to redeem that if you wanted to. So I could see that being that 18% might be worth 30% by the time you did all the math. it's certainly the best single-sided pulse staking option that I know of.
I think it's great, and until you sort of can get your head around it, I know for some people they already know it, and other people it takes a bit of time. And this isn't obviously not any sort of financial advice to say you should do it or anything like that. But if you do your research and look into it, it's as Fast Abdul said, it's sort of yield on yield, and you can see on 2Fucks here, if you had that vouch and you put it in 50-50 pool, 50% pulse and 50% vPulse, which is pulse that's staked in a way, the same thing, you're getting another 17% APR on it. So not bad.
I think this will get it even better in the future too. Partially because people will probably put more voting energy to make that pool pay more. But like as we get more liquid staking protocols for Pulse come out, they can be paired against each other in bigger pairs. So like on Fux and 2Fucks, you can have 8 tokens paired together. There probably won't be 8 liquid staking tokens anytime soon, but I know of at least one other is coming out. Vouch is a fork of Staffy, and then Project Pi is set to be a fork of Rocket Pool, which again from Ethereum, liquid staked ETH, and it'll be liquid stake Pulse. So you'll be able to have 3 tokens in that pair, which will generate more fees between them, right?
Yeah.
Which will pay even higher, and then probably more, financial energy voting for that pool because you'll have multiple communities. I've talked to Jex about that, and I've talked to the Project Pi guys about that. I don't know if they've talked to each other or not, but they both seem to like the idea.
Yeah. I think they both are good, excited about working alongside each other rather than competing. I heard of Spaces with them in it, and they were very much working together and talking about their projects, and all as one, one good thing.
And
for
more,
the ecosystem.
more is for sure better. Like it's definitely like I'd like to see at least 2 more in the next couple of years doing that same thing. And there's Lido DAO, there's the Stater protocol, which is kind of cool. That's probably my favorite. Like there's new technology on Ethereum doing just this that we can fork to PulseChain. We could end up with 80 of these things where you have 8 tokens in a pool that are trading against each other that are all essentially Pulse. Like that's crazy. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, and better than running a validator myself for sure. Like probably Bass could run a validator and it would be no skin off his back. But like I've looked at it, I've watched the YouTube streams, the instructionals. I think I could figure it out, but it would suck. But with this, you're running a validator with as little as 10,000 Pulse. You can participate with the voucher protocol, and you have your share of a validator. I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's amazing. And especially once it's proven. I know a lot of people hesitate to start with on lots of things, but once people have some confidence in it, and that's fine. It's good to be hesitant. Once people feel that a bit more confidence in things like that and they jump in, it's just going to make the system even more robust. So
agreed.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. Well, I'm thinking about maybe wrapping up soon. We've got 114 people watching, so thank you all very much for being here and checking us out. It's so good. And please hit the likes and subscribes and share us out. And anyone that's watching that wants to jump in sometime, just send me a message or comment it on one of our streams, something like that. And we'd love to have anyone on. But yeah, I've got, see if anyone has any last words, but wanted to thank you, Pharaoh, for coming on for your first stream with us.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's an honor. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for having me and treating me like family. I'm happy to be a part of this community. I'm proud to be a part of this community, and it's only up from here.
It's awesome. No, thank you. Like I said, you hooked me with your hook straight away in the music, and we're just everyone's loving the vibes. Keep the positive energy up and keep pushing hard. Because we're all loving that. Base Radian, you got any final words?
I would like to say that I would like to see more stuff that isn't forks. Now, forks are great, but novel new ideas. I think there needs to be someone leading in that department, and not a lot of things. I think I don't know. No, I'll end on that. And maybe after this project that I'm working on, maybe I'll come out and do something.
Lead the way.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
Look,
lead the way.
Look, I think, you know, I think the forks are great in a way because they're proven
proven
technology and,
is
you know,
good.
contracts in a way which is maybe a bit improved here and there, but there are also things that we know are utilized on other chains, and we can see their value. So yeah, if there's new stuff, bring it. Like, if blow our minds like that, that's going to bring, you know, amazing things to PulseChain. If there's new innovation that hasn't been seen before, far out, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are you waiting for? Why are you sleeping?
I know, right? I know. Yeah, give me 6 months.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
That's sick. That's sick, man. Well, I can't wait. That's going to be amazing. Fast Abdul, you got any last words, man?
Yeah, you bet. So you guys can check out my stuff. Go to 2phux.io. There's links to the Telegram room there. Watch out for scammers. Many on the Pulse chain. As we get bigger, we get more scammers. My other website now is pstability.com. That's for the Liquidity fork that will use PDAI for collateral to make a stable coin.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk more about that later because, there'll be many developments. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, everyone get on there. I put 2 fucks in the chat. And yeah, that sort of innovation there with, you know, doing the PDAI. I actually had a good laugh at first. I just think
that's
not laughing at it, like as in, yeah, I just thought it was hilarious that we're going that hard. And I think it's cool. Do it. Why not? Just send it. Just one last thing. I just recommend everyone checks out, LoveOfPharaoh on YouTube and all of his other music and on Spotify as well. And just give me 2 secs, sorry.
the kids in the background.
Let's go. Kids are a gift.
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
kids for me yet. Yes, I love kids.
I just bought my boys a snowmobile today, and to see the look on their faces, it's all good.
Oh man, that's amazing.
It's good to be a dad.
Snowmobile, man. If I could buy a snowmobile, as in if we had snow for it, I'd be all over it. At the moment, all we can do here is dirt go-karting, but that's still mad fun.
It's looking a bit dusty behind you.
Oh yeah, man. That's all we got. We got back. We don't even have the hay anymore.
The
that's
red
just
stand.
I took a photo of that. That's in the past now. It's just dust.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to say about LoveOfPharaoh, like I even saw an interview that you did. It was years ago, but I've been stalking you on the YouTubes. And yeah, I just wanted to recognize you've been through some tough things, man. And not going into that, but that's for another time, or for you to, say to others. But just the fact of the positive vibes and just watching you, come out with only that is just a huge thing. So that's why I wanted to say, keep it moving, because you've pushed through some crazy barriers, man, and you're doing amazing. So yeah, keep that.
We got it. We're all facing our own individual battles, and
yes.
I think through all the trials and tribulations I've been through, I've just realized, like, you create your own reality. And so what I decided to do was just, I think, cleanse my life of a lot of things that, would reflect in a negative way. And I think especially in the music and in everything, that attitude happens. When you go through trials and tribulations in life, obviously you either get one, you get to go one way or the other. You can either let that stuff define you in a negative way or a positive way.
Yeah.
And, life, we should use every excuse we can to reinvigorate our perspective that every day is a blessing and no day is promised to us. And I think that's just something that I really try to implement every day, is to really just take a moment to look at how lucky we are to be able to, doing whatever we're doing, and just practice that gratitude again and again, because I'll tell you, it's a lot better than allowing yourself to be in a cycle of hate and trauma and negativity and depression for yourself. So, I've not, there are people who go through much worse than I will ever imagine. And there's, some people would say they've never gone through anything, but the worst thing that ever happened to you is the worst thing that ever happened to you. And, you know, if I can be a voice to help people wake up a little bit more in life, from the social construct and the media construct that people try to keep you in that bubble. You know, we as a people want to break out, especially in crypto. That's the attitude of people. You know, I was on Escape the Matrix much before I'd heard other people mentioning it. It was kind of just like my own thing. So to come into this space and see a lot of people with that same mentality, we just want to break out of that construct. The world has been designed to keep us down and to make us feel like we don't have this infinite power that we do have in ourselves.
Dude, 100%. And that's the beautiful thing about this community, because we're all aware of that and we all seem to be on that same mindset. And, you know, the financial freedom side of it is only a small part of the rest of the freedom that we all want and deserve, and, you know, a somewhat promise, but, you know, we'll get there and we're all fighting for it. So now, thanks again. Yeah, love your work. Fast Abdul, Base Radiant, thanks for coming on. Thanks to all the chat for spending an hour and almost 2 hours here. So good. And we'll see you for next week. But I'm going to leave it with one more of Pharaoh's, which we're all wanting, is to drop the case. So let's get it.
Drop the case. Drop the case. Just drop the case. Can't just drop the case. They want to silence us. We got a lot to say. They want to lock the doors. We got to unlock the safe. We're going to moon it, yeah. We got our own rocket base. In spite of Gary Gensler, cause he wanna lie to our face. He wanna call it a scam, he wanna call it a fraud. But what you call these banks, they wanna take all the money I got. They wanna take hard to court, we packing a room out. Trump got voted in and look at that Gary stepping down. And that ain't coincidence, that is symbolism. These the people brainwashing you on your television. And these the NPCs that try to get you not to listen. Boy, I had crypto, I ain't even have a pot to piss in. I would call electric up and ask for bill extension. The SEC had tried to stop us, but we still progressing. Hey, drop the case. Drop the case. Judge, drop the case. Can you just drop the case? They wanna silence